let's get to our next bout of the evening. An elimination MMA bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, KALEB WIGGINS. Drew Dober, Todd Romero, and J.R. Gordon back with you for the night card. Sparta, Army versus Marines number 15. We're going to start it off with some MMA action in the featherweight division. I love the featherweights. These guys are always so fast, so technical. Cardio for days. It's like they never have to stop and take a breath.
Figured out here in a moment, but the one thing we'll talk about when we talk about this preliminary card, all MMA, and then we have the second part of the King of Sparta tournament, which is what to the final. We have 4 guys left, so that's the King of Sparta amateur tournament. We've seen it in the pros before. LT Nelson's won it 3 times.
All right, Drew's got a mic now.
I'm back on. All right, there it is. You were silenced for a moment.
Yeah, all right. It probably felt good for everyone else.
Mr. KALEB WIGGINS, he's a representative of the Trials MMA coming out of Fort Collins, Colorado.
But he's got a great hometown. That's where I grew up. So,
Trials MMA, tough team. A lot of success here in the Sparta Combat League.
His opponent out of the red corner, Anthony LUCCA. And Mr. Anthony Lucky LUCCA, he's from the Black Sheep Universe out of Colorado Springs, Colorado.
that's a good name, Lucky LUCCA. I mean, so this card is going to be full action, almost all MMA with a couple of kickboxing mixed in this preliminary card before we get to our main event tonight. 24 fights in all, or 23 that is. You guys have already done 9 of them, and before I could jump in.
All right, KALEB WIGGINS out of Fort Collins, Colorado. He's 22 years old, 5 feet 5 inches tall, 143 pounds. Has a 2-1 record as a mixed style fighter. Facing off against Anthony LUCCA out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. 25 years old, 5 feet 8 inches tall, 145 pounds, undefeated with a 1-0 record. He lists himself as a grappler. So a couple opposite ends of the state working against each other there.
Yeah, and young, I mean, as we look at it, you take a look at Sparta, and we've talked about the history before of how many have made it up to the level where Drew's at. And it's got to be 40 or 50 guys that have touched Sparta that have gotten that are now either at Bellator, PFL, which is merging, or UFC. You're talking, and then the latest one, was what came from, Factory X. Came down for a little bit, back up, got himself a submission win.
Nice.
Yusuf Zalal I'm talking about, by the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an elimination MMA bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the Mike Maroney Ford blue corner. He's a mixed style fighter with a record of 2 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5 foot 5 inches tall. He weighed in 143 pounds with Trials MMA from Fort Collins, Colorado. KALEB WIGGINS! Fighting out of the Interstate Roofing, powered by JRC Windows, red corner. He's a grappler with a record of 1 win, no losses. He stands at 5 foot 8 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds. With Black Sheep Universe from Colorado Springs, Colorado, Anthony Lucky LUCCA! Referee Armando Castro. If you're going to fight, you might as well be lucky.
Absolutely. Need to be both. I expect a clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves. Back to your corners.
WIGGINS with the blue tape. LUCCA with the red. Cage doors locked. We're ready.
We'll see if it's a feeling out round or if the boys are going to go for it.
And go for it they do. LUCCA opening up with a hard teep kick.
Yep, teep kick.
The wrestler grabs the kick, goes for the trip takedown. Quickly back to his feet is WIGGINS.
Headlock for a moment didn't last long. Good head positioning by Wiggins. But LUCCA pushed himself off the cage.
When this fight started, I noticed a slight size difference between the two competitors, but not showing a whole lot of difference.
Nice standing
No, I thought
back
the same
transition.
thing. Yeah, I thought a little bit of size difference. And look at LUCCA. I mean, 2 hooks in, he's on his back right now, trying to get that arm underneath the chin.
That was really a slick back take from standing.
And he's got a good crank on it now, right now, too.
Wiggins needs to fight those hands.
Yep, he sure does. He's got to peel that hand.
Did a good job getting his chin position adjusted. Now going for the body triangle.
Yeah,
LUCCA.
it's he's there, but I don't know. Toes are barely hanging on. It's not real deep.
Certainly holding them in place.
Yep.
Wiggins a little more comfortable now. The LUCCA had to let go of that hand position.
I'm not a huge fan of the standing defense to the back control. I would like to see him like go to the ground and then get his back to the mat and really escape this position. I think it's just a stalemate if he just keeps this standing here.
What about like a roll here, Drew?
I mean a roll, but more so in like in a deal fashion. I mean you want to get your back to the mat.
Yep.
And so you'd have to roll strategically to pretty much pin yourself.
Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Wiggins having to spend a lot of energy just carrying LUCCA as a backpack. I mean, most literally.
Well, his butt's against the cage, so the cage is actually carrying majority of the weight, and so it seems to be a more rested position. Wiggins is the one that's carrying the majority of the weight.
Yeah, look at the positioning of his legs.
Was Wiggins. Sorry.
Look at how he's in that sitting position, man. Those thigh muscles are going to get. I mean, they're flexed. They're getting sore.
I mean, 30 seconds left, but I mean. I would love to see him do something different, like a change of position, so that he's not just carrying his opponent's weight the entire time.
Now that body lock's a little bit better. Body triangle. Up now it slipped out.
Starting to try to crank like he might be wanting to get a Kimura there.
We need more cowbell.
It was a solid round by LUCCA.
Yeah.
I'd be curious on how much energy that expelled from Wiggins.
Yeah, definitely have to call that positional dominance for the round.
Right.
Hey, he's not breathing. It looks like he's in shape. We'll see as this fight goes on.
If you're coming out of trials MMA, you're in shape.
Yep. I mean, at the end of the day, how many MMA fighters are not in shape?
Fair point.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
I've seen some amateur fights.
I guess I'm why I watch too much UFC and Bellator and PFL.
I think the difference is I come from the Midwest. So in the Midwest, there's a lot of out of shape people.
Here, when you're here, and you're seeing the quality fighters that you see here.
Oh.
You're at elevation. You're training at elevation, and I think where the advantage is, and you know this, I'm sure you feel it when you're fighting at sea level.
Oh, right.
We're so spoiled.
I think also the difference too is people in the Colorado take their hobby more professionally, and they're not walking to a gym out of shape.
Nope. It's the healthiest state in the country, I believe.
Round 2. Wiggins a little bit of a grimace of pain after he took that kick on the knee.
There's another teep kick right there. Oh, and then an overhand left. Oh, it's another straight left.
LUCCA with the grappling heavy first round lights him up with striking starting round 2.
Wiggins has got to throw something. He's thrown nothing.
As the old saying goes, if you wait to get hit, you'll get hit.
I don't know what he's waiting for. Oh, there was a kick to the head, and guess what? He got caught right away.
LUCCA with the rear valley trip, gonna try to wrap up the hooks.
Back to a similar position in round 1, but this time horizontal.
His corner said, "We just worked on this, LUCCA." That now they can get it.
Still a lot of time left in the round. Wiggins showed good defense throughout the entirety of round one. Let's see what he can do here now that it's more mat-oriented. Oh, and he
there's
turns
a problem.
in nicely.
Yeah, and it's been all defense. Let's see if he can make some offense. It's one of the first punches he's thrown was a body shot. Watch out for the triangle on the arm bar.
Doing a good job with his posturing is Wiggins.
Unfortunately, with posture comes punches.
Yep. You know how dangerous somebody can be from down on the ground.
And roles are reversed.
Yeah.
A reversal of fortunes for Wiggins.
Wiggins is high. He's trying to adjust.
LUCCA, good job kicking his leg out, frees one hook. Wiggins barely hanging on now.
Yep, and now that's what happened right there.
Wiggins tried to grab the arm on his way to the ground, unsuccessful with it. Now we have LUCCA back in top control.
He grabbed that arm. Hammer fist, couple of hammer fists right there. I don't know why Wiggins didn't grab that arm.
LUCCA showing a lot of comfort in the grappling exchanges.
He's a well-rounded fighter. We've seen it, on the ground. He can kick. Wiggins just he's done so little offensively. You give him bonus points for what he's done defensively and staying alive, but he just hasn't done enough offense. Oh, that's one big shot.
Nice trip, little jiu-jitsu 101 there. Grab the ankles and push back on the hips.
There's a takedown, second takedown of the round, but again, I'm going to have to go with LUCCA in the round again, despite the two takedowns by Wiggins.
I'm in agreement, Todd, especially with the early striking in the round.
I think in the third, Wiggins needs to double down on this takedown and see if we can change the momentum of the fight.
Or come out and do something. I mean, come out and flying kick. I don't know, maybe Superman punch. Yep. Offensively, do something he's not expecting. LUCCA's going to want to finish.
Checking out the replay here. This is where LUCCA was trying to set up the triangle choke. Wiggins able to posture up out of it, keep himself safe. And as he said, with posture comes strikes. All right, get those corner people out of there. And round three, here we go.
Wiggins has got to go for broke here and do something.
Round number 3, fight!
Here we go. You're going to throw it, Wiggins.
Yeah, again, we see Wiggins just waiting for something to happen, and what happens is he gets hit.
He's just very hesitant. But there's a nice shot. That's his best punch of the fight. Came back again with the left again. Good head positioning, strikes to uppercuts to the body, a little more action.
I think Wiggins is feeling the desperation, and it's paying off for him.
Question, Drew, is it too late? I mean, you got to go for it now.
Yes, I mean, I have him down 2 rounds, so he's got to finish the fight now.
I think he knows it. It's just picking his spots. See, I don't know why that. There's a good right hand.
Oh, good head kick.
Wow, that was in tight, too.
Oh, you know what? I think he's hurt a little bit. Oh, there's another one up in tight.
He's got to create space and just let go.
Some impressive close-in striking by Wiggins, getting those head kicks up.
You know, sometimes that ponytail comes loose, that hair's in your face, not a good look. That left jab lands for LUCCA. Then LUCCA goes to the head, partially blocked.
I mean, they're just exchanging head kicks at this point.
Yay for us.
I mean, where's this Wiggins? The first 2 rounds is where I'm at. You know, that's the problem.
He's got a minute and a half.
I think he's in mount.
Yeah, very quickly transitioned to mount.
He's got to open up. His arm triangle's
Looking
getting
for the head
close.
and arm. LUCCA got the elbow position he needed to keep himself safe from that choke.
He's got the fence he's pushing off of as well. Big left.
I mean, Higgins got to posture up and start raining it
Yeah,
down.
you got to come bring it. Don't get too high. You got to come straight down, start throwing.
Nice crossbody reversal. Good job by Lucca getting his leg in position.
LUCCA, playing with some ankle locks.
Yep.
Now we've got
That's what got him out of it.
Now we've got the tangled bowl of spaghetti position.
It's my favorite.
Wiggins' hair start getting in the way. You got to see what you're doing.
If Clay Guida can do it,
That's true.
Higgins can do it.
I got
Fair
you.
enough. Wiggins taking some deep breaths.
Much better round for Wiggins, but again finds himself up on the ground. He was down 2-0. This round's too close to call. I mean, at least on my card, I had him down 2-0. Big strikes at the end.
Well, that's absolutely what you want the judges to see at the end of a fight, is you standing over your opponent.
It was a great rally by Wiggins, but I think LUCCA had this superior jiu-jitsu skills.
And at this level, I mean, you get to the UFC level where you're at, Drew. I think it's a little, everybody's talented, and you know that. I think on this, on the amateur level, if you're good at jiu-jitsu, you can really carry yourself a long way before, as you learn striking, as you learn your takedowns, everything. If you have that component of it, it can help carry you a long way.
Oh, I agree.
Checking the replay here, this is where Wiggins had the big takedown, just gave LUCCA a couple frequent flyer miles there, and was some of his best positioning in the fight momentarily, but then he was able to get his leg threaded through, pushed Wiggins off a little bit later on in the round, and took over from there.
I think a little tired maybe because he got mount and really didn't do much with it.
Right, and there's desperation, but you also got to think about, what he was training in camp.
Right.
It's so hard to change what you've been working on for the last 6 to 8 weeks, So he might have been working a certain way, and then he couldn't change it, in the third round.
Or your opponent does something you don't know and you weren't expecting and you didn't train for it.
That was, on this replay, that was a close arm triangle. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to keep the elbow in the correct position.
All right, Stewie's got the word. Get these fighters center cage and find out how the judges saw it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after this 3-round battle, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges score this bout 30-27 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Anthony Lucky LUCCA!
Well, congratulations to the Black Sheep Universe fighter. Anthony Lucky LUCCA goes home with the victory this evening. Army versus Marines, number 15.